following program may contain coarse language, suggestive dialogue, and discussion of violent imagery and sexual situations. It is intended for mature listeners who can tell the difference between facts and opinions.
At last, we experience battle on this episode of the Toonami Faithful podcast. I am your host, Sketch, and with me I have...
the founder of ToonamiFaithful.com, Pub Strillo.
And...
an editorial writer who just drove for 8 hours, Laser Kid.
And bringing up the rear.
Your social media dude and streaming editor. I don't know what I am. Some streaming person who presses live, Steven.
He doesn't even know who he is anymore.
It's a mystery to us all.
It's finally.
I like the title. I like the
many
title
hats.
of social media dude.
Social media dude.
I
Radical.
Streaming Steven.
Streaming.
Yeah, there's also
Steven.
the. Wait. Streaming Steven, the social media dude.
Okay, I need to change it now. That's it.
Sounds like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
We're gonna make a
Is that what
T-shirt
they
for
were going
this.
I need a theme song
Does
now.
Steven does the stream?
No.
Does
Let's
that
not go
mean
far.
that Paul is cool but rude?
I knew that was where you were going.
That's exactly where I was going.
We need to have the theme song, just all of us in line, and someone sings it.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, Sketch leads, Steven does the streams. Paul is cool but rude. And Laser Kid is a party dude.
There we
Apparently.
go. We got it.
We did it. Voila!
Wouldn't be the first time we reference this on the podcast. Won't be the last. Hey, Me TV Tunes, will you please start playing Ninja Turtles? You've been saying you're going to do it for like 7-8 months now. Just do it already. I'm patient. It's all right. Though there is a whole lot of Ninja Turtles things going on in August, so it feels like it should be happening in August, but I don't think it's happening in August because it's already August. The first movie's coming back to theaters. It was supposed to be just a couple of days, and now it's a full week. That's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
Hello Kitty X Ninja Turtles toys at McDonald's?
Yeah, did you see that? They look pretty good.
The bird one is about the only one I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind having that on my shelf. The rest of it, like, I don't. Green Hello Kitties are not digging it.
But they're Hello Kitties with attitude.
Yes, they are.
So they're going to be Power Rangers?
Yes.
Well, dear listeners, I thought that I had survived San Diego Comic-Con without getting sick, but maybe it just took a while. And I am feeling very under the weather. And because of that, I'm hoping not to talk too much on this episode. But I'm sure the rest of these chatterboxes will do the heavy lifting. So that'll be right.
Oh, I have a lot to say.
He has a lot to say about our topic, which, if you hadn't heard, Warner Brothers and Discovery are splitting, but not really. But yeah, so more about that later. But first, we should do these recaps, because we have 2 episodes of Dragon Ball Daima and 2 episodes of Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War. So, I guess we'll be doing those. As you may recall, when we last left off in Daima, they got into a plane and it immediately started failing because there was too much luggage after Gloria was like, we don't need all this stuff.
I mean, he ain't
And
wrong.
He ain't wrong. Though Pansy did admittedly pack a lot of useful things. Like camping supplies, food, all manner of things. You know, if a lot of that was food, just let Goku have at it and you'd be fine. You'll deal with that weight limit in no time. Oh yeah, she admits too much luggage. We can leave about half of it. She repairs the engine. And in the meantime, after finding out that she brought toilet paper, Goku's like, "Hey, I gotta take a dump. Can I have some of that toilet paper?" Um, I don't remember Kid Goku being so prone to mentioning that he needs to go defecate or piss. I feel like this show's kind of leaning into this a bit.
I don't recall him doing that, but I also don't recall him being shy about such things. Like,
No, not at all.
it doesn't feel off for Goku, but it is a new thing.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. He's still an adult in the child body, so you'd think he would have. I don't know. He's still Goku. But yeah, he goes off to defecate, and you know what? It's a good thing he did because the gendarmerie show up looking for Goku, and they're all like, "Oh, we don't got no Goku," and they're like, "Okay, that checks out," and they leave. But they're still suspicious. Yeah.
The very competent Gendarmerie Force. Or not
Yes.
Gendarmerie, just the Gendarmerie. The Gendarmerie Force is later.
Yeah. 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 Shin explains that he's a glint and he left, but his younger brother Degasu and his older sister Arinsu, though he does mention that they don't really have genders, but well, she certainly looks like a girl.
That she does.
The brilliant Arinsu, but then again, maybe take off the makeup, do the hair a bit different. I suppose it's fairly gender neutral. Though she does have curves. Some of them glens are curvier than others.
They came
They
from the
stayed in
curvy tree.
Yeah, from the curvy tree. Well, they're all from the same tree.
Those three are, yes.
Whereas Kabuto is not.
That's
It's
true.
from a lesser tree, no doubt.
Of course.
And he mentions that the two of them stayed in the demon realm due to their own ambitions. Oh, these ambitious siblings of Shin. They're trouble. And when they sleep for camp, Glorio secretly contacts Arinsu, revealing who he truly works for. Sneaky.
Dun, dun, dun!
They get up the next morning and they're attacked by a Minotaur, or rather, a Minotaur says he's going to attack them. And Goku and Glorio fight over who should fight him. And Goku's like, "I don't know, buddy. He seems too strong for you." And it's like, "Hey, you want to reassess that? All right, how about we fight about it?" So they fight. And Shin decides it would be a really good idea for Goku to go, not necessarily all out, but like really test what Glorio can do, so that he knows if Glorio's trouble that they can handle him. And Glorio is no pushover. He's very strong, and he's got good Majin powers. He uses nifty lightning, which the episode is titled Lightning. And they have a good fight, and then it goes really bad for him as soon as Goku manages to go Super Saiyan, which is something he can still do in his small child body. And then, yeah, the fight goes exactly how you would expect.
Yeah.
And then, this Minotaur, he's basically just Hercule at this point. He's like, "Oh, what? No, I had a big dinner. I don't need breakfast. I'm just gonna go."
Yeah, I don't want any of that.
It was Marcus Timmick, I think, voicing it, but he was definitely channeling some Hercule. Meanwhile, in the other realm, Bulma finishes repairing Shin's ship, which will allow Vegeta, Piccolo, and Kibito to attempt to go to the Demon Realm. But boy, ships are having a hard time in this episode because it instantly powers down and crashes just a few feet off the ground. Great. Which brings us on to episode 7, where Bulma realizes that the ship is out of fuel, and that fuel can only be found in the demon realm, so they're kind of stuck. Luckily for them, Hybis is already on the way to retrieve them, thanks to the previous encounter with Goku's group and the king and all of them. So Hybis suddenly arrives and takes Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma to the demon realm, while Kibito stays to look after the lookout. And those doggone Gendarmerie return, and they detain Goku's group because of the collar that they've been tracking with Pansy. All of the residents of the third demon world have these collars that the Gendarmerie can track, and generally a subjugation tactic. Not so nice. And they're looking for Goku, and Pansy is really concerned because Goku's hiding in the ship. And they get into the ship, and they're like, there's nothing in here. All right, it's all good. Because she doesn't know that Goku can use his instant transmission power. Which, admittedly, I think some of us didn't realize he could still do that. Handy trick, to be sure. Yeah. But, they still try to apprehend Pansy, thinking that she is, and rightfully so, is the one who was interrupting the previous transaction of life force in the other city. So they have to fight the Gendarmerie, and they destroy their ship. Doggone it, it's always the plane getting damaged. But luckily, they could just steal one of theirs. Pretty useful. Pansy does use a disruptor thing to avoid communication. So they can't communicate. But she is concerned that even though she's done that, she's still got the collar, and they can still track the collar. And Shin deduces that the collar, it must have been designed by Arinsu. And knowing that Arinsu designed it, and knowing what it's made of, destroys it, finally freeing her, and reveals that they're... No, that's your slave name.
Oh.
Right. No, his birth name is Nahare, which Goku tries to roll with for a bit. He's like, nah, I'm gonna keep calling you Supreme Guy. Just feels right. Hybis gets in contact with King Kadon and instructs to take the guests over to Goku's group. Just as they arrive where the third world's Tamagami is. And the locals try to dissuade Goku from fighting it. But, you just can't threaten Goku with a good time. The Tamagami already seems pretty put off by Goku. Also, Goku knows that the hammer that the Tamagami has could do some serious damage, and Glorio's like, "Well, you got that pole." He's like, "Yeah, but it would still flatten me like a pancake." It's like, I don't know, Goku, probably not. But good looking out. I mean, before you were telling all those guys, "Yeah, keep using your weapons; it'll be good practice." But clearly, he could tell that this foe is going to be much more trouble. Good kind of trouble. Yeah. Really great fight between Goku and Glorio. Cool stuff. Goku going Super Saiyan.
Gotta
Couple of
love the great
entertaining
action in this
episodes.
show. They really have fun with it.
I just love this Minotaur character.
The Minotaur's just like, no, I think not. Just the face alone.
Yeah. Well, Paul, what are your thoughts on these episodes of Dragon Ball Daima?
There's a theme with me talking about Daima, and I just love the animation. I just love the animation. I can't get enough of it. I hope they use that for whatever Dragon Ball series they're going to do next. Let's see. What else? Goku likes to poop,
Yes, he does.
so there's that. Which is weird, but okay, whatever. And I like the fact that Lorio is finally figuring out how powerful Goku is, and I don't think he's going to want to mess with him too much. And I love how Goku's like, so we're done here, right? Yeah, we're done. I'm not messing with you. So that was kind of funny. The Tawagami is really big. And he has a big hammer.
Yes.
He's still going to get his ass kicked, but he's got a big hammer. Also, I don't understand why it's attached to him.
Oh, the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
style choice, I think.
I guess I can understand because some little asshole from the demon world would probably try to steal it while he's not looking. So, I mean, I can understand that. That kind of scares them away if it's on him. So, okay, fine, I get it. But at the same time, is there going to be very much left of him after Goku's done?
Oh yeah, he's surprisingly durable.
He actually reminds me of what was that one robot in the tournament of I want to say Tournament of Power for some odd reason, but it's not Tournament of Power. In Super there where they have, I think it's just the regular tournament where it was just between Champa and Universe 7, but I could be wrong. I think it was, well, actually no, he was in the bigger tournament as well. It's that robot that like spits out lava and whatever. I can't think of what that robot's name is, but I was looking at him. I'm like, that they look similar a little bit.
Kind of makes me think of Robo from Chrono Trigger. Yeah,
A
another thing
little
that looks
bit,
like
yeah.
Chrono Trigger.
Well, I wonder why that would be.
Could possibly have anything to do with the same character designer.
So
Couldn't
Paul,
possibly.
that robot's name is Otara Magetta.
Oh, him, yeah.
Utamagetta.
Yeah. So yeah, he reminds me of him.
I can see a bit.
So yeah, that's really all I got to say right now because there's not really.
Super's a blur.
I mean, this is pretty much the start of how it's gonna start. So.
Oh no, this is the start of the middle section of Dragon Ball Daima.
Good.
It's gonna go a little down before it gets back. It'll get really good again, but it's gotta go down first.
Well, Goku versus the Tamagami's good.
Oh, Goku versus Tamagami's great.
Yeah. Once again, somebody completely underestimates Goku because of his small size. Makes you wonder if they would.
My size, do you?
I wonder if they would have underestimated him if he was full size. You know, just because they see this new guy's like, there's no way he's strong enough. But the fact that he's just a little guy also hammers in that he's probably hammers in that he's probably not strong enough. But oh, you'll see, villagers. You will indeed see. Yeah, and Glorio certainly learned that Goku's nothing, nobody to mess with. But he's still gonna take offense every time Goku says his name wrong. He's not getting over that.
Which happens a lot.
It almost feels like he was trying in this episode.
It feels that way, but it's Goku.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on these episodes, Steven?
I like them. Just like all the other ones. I will say, with episode 7, I do like the fight that they get into with the gendarmerie. It's kind of like it's like they landed and they're like, hold on, she uses the taser on him. And it's the funny part of it is that she uses it on him and it's like, oh no, now we have to take out all the other guys. And it's like, hide him quick, beat him up, hide him quick so no one else sees it, which is a funny kind of thing. And then, of course, they all, descend upon him. So they have to like defeat all the other ones. So, there's like some ending to it, but it makes you think like, do they check up on each other? Do they know? Are they like, go running on the law? Which they probably are, but there's something going on there. Another question that I had is, I don't know if this is like future spoilers or anything, so you don't have to answer it. But if there are 3 Dragon Balls here, do you need 4 more to summon their Shenron? Because there's only 3 Tamagami.
There's only 3 Tamagami.
You
And
only
it would
need the
seem like
3.
in every universe you would need 7?
No, you only need 3.
Oh, so
Yep,
this one
up
only
here
needs 3.
you-
Okay.
You only need 3 on this one. That is, but you gotta get them.
Yeah,
Which
you
is
got to get them.
significantly more difficult.
Which makes sense, and Goku can take it because he's Goku. But it is more difficult, looks to be from now. The Minotaur was the main star of episode 6 because he's the Minotaur. You would think something like that, and it's like everyone was frightened by Goku's power, and Goku's like, no, this is normal. Don't worry about it. It's like, no, this guy's like severely, overpowered. This guy started training video games, and it's like this guy just overpowers level 1, and he's a level 100 character in the level 1 anime. Aside from that, yeah, it is also it is interesting. One more thing is that the Supreme Kai just basically has enough power or knows the spell to break the curse of the what is it? The little collar
The
that
collars, yeah.
Pansy has on. That
Mhm.
is interesting. That's probably not going to go anywhere, but it is interesting that
Yeah.
he can do that. He can do that. He goes, "Oh, that's something that I can do." It's like, how did you know how to do that?
And he even
Like-
says that anybody can do it if they recite the spell. And Pansy's like, "Oh, we should pass get that information."
Yeah, which is like an interesting thing. Like, did they not figure that out, or did they not know the spell? Because someone had to know something, but then it was like wiped from their memories or something. It's like there's something else going around here that they wanted to be subjugated to this stuff. So it makes you wonder if the Dragon Balls before were used to subjugate all of these demons in the realm, separating them out into 3 different distinct holdings, not having any contact because each one would work on each other and help the other one survive.
Yeah. Well, they do mention that only 3rd Demon Realm residents have these collars. Which is why the gendarmerie are like, okay, so where are you from? It's like, I'm from the 1st, I'm from the 2nd. Like, okay, that explains why you don't have collars. This girl's our guide. And they bought it. I mean, it's not entirely wrong.
Nope.
Not entirely wrong. Yeah. Fun times in Daima Land. And we have some fun times ahead in Bleach Land, but also some really, really intense times. Jeez. I guess we'll get right into it. Episode 9, The Drop. Ichigo and Renji have survived their treatment, been completely healed by Kiriniji, and they move up to Kiryo's Hikafune's palace, where she shows up all wonderfully rotund and starts giving them lots and lots of food. And they're like, okay, what's the catch? There's always a catch. How is this training? And then Renji speaks up, is like, you're such an idiot, Ichigo. Obviously, we just healed up all our wounds, and now we need to restore our spiritual energy, and we need to fill our bellies so that we can prepare for the next part of the training. This is literally just food, and we're supposed to eat it. Be a shonen protagonist already. Man, Goku would have cleared that plate in no time.
Goku would
have
just
cleared that
live
plate
there.
in no time.
He would just live there. This would be Goku's heaven. If
It
Goku
really
went to
would.
the Soul Society, he'd just go straight here.
It really, really would be. And Kiryu steps out, is like, oh, good job, Renji. You figured it out. Yeah, but this food has special qualities that will truly restore your spiritual pressure. And it's also kind of like a you are what you eat kind of thing. Like it contains the spiritual pressure of other things, and if you consume it, it will make you stronger. I don't know. Makes it about as much sense as anything else. But also, when she steps out the second time, she looks like a typical Bleach female. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
And they're like, who are you? And spitting out their food. And like, oh, it's me. I slim down whenever I use a lot of my spiritual pressure, which apparently is what she was doing when she was cooking. So, points deducted for lack of originality. She's attractive, though. She's attractive both ways, I'd say. You know, she's pleasantly plump. Yeah. I do like that moment where Renji's like, I don't know if I want to eat this. And then takes me like, oh, wow, this lizard skin's so crunchy. Oh, it's so nice. And there's this gooiness to it. Oh, it's so good. Ichigo, you gotta try this. Also, Renji did protest to being left behind and went up to not Dandy. It was like, all right, I'm going. It's like, oh yeah? Ugh! Punch right to the gut. You see? I'm still standing. It's like, okay, I guess you're fine. And apparently this treatment is not for the faint of heart, because his assistants had to wear these special outfits in order to withstand the incredible heat that these hot springs had. And these two guys were okay also. Stick your head under the water and count to 100 like a good boy. What kind of parent does that to their kid? I would totally believe Ishin would do it.
He would.
So that's the fun, silly part of this. Meanwhile, we have a new, at least temporary, head captain, as Squad 8 Captain Shunsui has been promoted. And
Good old Kyoraku.
yeah, his lieutenant now have joined Squad 1, and Yamamoto's previous third seat, Genshiro Okikiba, was also promoted to lieutenant. And he makes the controversial decision that Kenpachi should be taught the Zanjutsu, an all-style encompassing swordsmanship, and he should be taught by Squad Captain 4 Unohana, who reveals herself to have a criminal history in the Soul Society and was the founder of Squad 11 and the first Kenpachi. Evidently, her real name being Yachiru Unohana.
That threw me for a loop the first time I went through this. Last
Yeah.
person you'd expect.
Seriously, like, remember the previous episode when her aide was like, shouldn't we be out there fighting? And she's like, no, the head captain told us not to, to stay here. It's like, dang, we needed her on the battlefield. She's really strong.
Yeah, she sure is.
So she takes Kenpachi down to an underground prison saying, this is where you belong. And it's like, ooh, I'm surprised you were able to get this place for our little play date. And Kenpachi thinks back to how he used to admire Unoha for their first time meeting. And he thinks back to how incredible she was. Whereas Unohana states that he has only become weaker. And she intends to push him to the brink of death. And then revive him repeatedly to unlock his full potential. Hey, he's a Saiyan. More or less.
Yeah, kinda.
So we flash back to when Unohana was bored of killing bandits and hoped to find a worthy opponent, and she finds a vicious child, that being Kenpachi, who attacks her. Unohana is overpowered, so it's the beginning of Kenpachi subconsciously holding himself back in order to extend his battles. Okay, that's a choice. And she's got to break him of this in order for him to become stronger. So now she continues to wound him to the point of death and healing him over and over and over. And he grows stronger every time he resurrects until she finally unleashes her Bankai, which I thought was blood, but it apparently is acid that looks a lot like blood. And Kenpachi continues to grow stronger and overpower her, and finally overpowers her to the point of killing her. And going into this, they realize that one or the other is gonna die. And so did their loved ones waiting at home. That being her aide and his little friend, who both received a letter to help them understand the situation, though I don't think it probably helps. And frankly, I don't know why she had to die. She seems very useful, and they could use her. It seems like a bad choice.
Very interesting. I mean, I understand they want to make Kenpachi stronger, but why did she have to die to do that?
Yeah,
It's a weird choice.
it is. Also, he doesn't seem to be learning whatever technique he was supposed to be learning from her. But he does finally, I wouldn't say awaken, more so he can finally hear his Zanpakuto and the beginning of that relationship. Interesting. Does that mean he will have a Bankai?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Back to the silliness, at least for a moment. Ichigo, Renji, and Kon is here too. Oh, by the way, they had to get blasted off again because that's apparently the only form of transport they have. And Ichigo and Renji are clawing at each other, trying to get the other one to break the fall. And then Kon shows up and like, oh, hey, you'll do.
Poor Cone.
Yeah, he sure breaks the fall. and they arrive at Nehemiah's palace, the Hoden. Emphasis on the ho, because as soon as they show up, it seems like seems like an establishment, a gentleman's club, if you will. Lots of lovely ladies fawning over the new guys, and of course also Nehemiah, who, by the way, is the guy who created all of the Zanpakutos. Kind of a big deal, that guy. But he has his aide kind of take them over to where their training will begin. And I think her name is Mara. And dumps them into a thing. And I'm like, oh, are you going to have them climb up oily walls with controlling their breath? No. No, they're gonna fight a whole bunch of disgruntled Asuchi, which are nameless Zanpakutos. Which, if you don't recall, those who are trained in the Soul Society get an Asuchi for the purpose of training, and then once they finally graduate from their training, they are given it's taken from them and then given back to them, and then it becomes their Zanpakuto, which is personalized with their own spiritual pressure. So he sends the two of them down this hole filled with countless Asauchi and leaves them there for 3 days to fight them. 3 days, but it's like over in an instance. Or rather, it happens while the credits are rolling. Renji manages to obtain a partner, but Ichigo doesn't. Which, of course, Ichigo doesn't want to accept. But the truth is, he never had an Asauchi. His Zanpakuto was truly unique. And he won't be chosen by an Asauchi. What he has to learn is more about his roots. So, Nehemiah has him sent packing back down to the Earth Realm, right in front of his family's clinic. Interesting. Interesting stuff.
That is strange. Very strange indeed.
Yes. So, Steven, what do you think of this episode? Episodes.
Yeah. They were great. Episode 9 was an interesting one. Aside from the reveal that, that what was her name? Yorohana, if I'm saying it right, is like this I don't know how to put it, but like she's this an older person in kind of like a newer way, but I feel like that she was one of the criminals that like they put together for like the first Soul Society Captain Guard thing. That was a surprise, but it feels weird because there's nothing there. There's like no build up to showing her being this cold-blooded machine. This kind of cold-hearted person to do all this stuff, because you see in episode 10, it's like huge, like this huge let's see.
The flip gets switched.
Yeah. It's like something happened. And you see like all these piles of
Their
bodies in
switch gets
episode
flipped.
10. Yeah.
I can talk.
And I feel like it's a shame that she was being used as a tool to develop other characters who exist outside of it. And so she just shows up like to challenge people to toughen them back up and like to send them out there, but I don't know. That's weird. I don't know why they used her like that, because it's like you only see her in the intimidating sides when through comedic scenes, but we don't have like details about this fight, and I don't know. It's weird. It's like I don't know. It's like she's so some other different character that we didn't know, even though she was like a healer and did stuff. But now she's like this cold-blooded killer who went that way, which I guess I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I kind of the one character who brings them in and serves them all the food. I thought there was a Food Wars person. I'm like, you're carrying you're carrying a huge spoon. It's like, you're cooking food. It's almost Food Wars again. Yeah, the kind of then having what was it in episode 10 when Ichigo just looks like a complete fool in a farrier. Like he could not do anything right. He could not get one of the nameless spirits. It's like, what? The protagonist actually lost? Um that that was kind of cool. It wasn't as cool as when I watched Yu-Gi-Oh and he lost. And Yugi lost when he was dueling our one of the characters in Waking the Dragons. But it's kind of cool. It's like actually showing that things can actually happen like this. You don't go on a winning streak forever. You have to lose sometimes, and you have to rise up from it. Though they will pull some type of thing, and he'll eventually get
He
it and
only
understand
failed
something.
because he needed to. Whoa.
There you go. It is cool. The fights are in these. The animation I would say is gorgeous in all of these episodes. Specifically within the fights. But yeah, I like it. I do want to see where it goes, because it's like if he's lost and now he has to rediscover himself, because we know his mother now is a Quincy or hinting towards that or something. It's like, yeah, where do you go from there if he's not a social, not like they kicked him out of, almost kicked him out of the Soul Society. Like, you can never come back here again. It's like, where do you go now? Are you just a man, out of everything, but you have it all? Are you, that interesting? Because the Soul King is so interested in him.
Yeah. When he showed up at the clinic, I was like, wait, did he send him back to the past? Are they going to make
Yeah,
him relive his mother's death?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, is this whole thing starting all over again?
Yeah, that's a thought. Well, we have a latecomer to the podcast. Welcome, Data Monkey.
Hurrah. Sorry I'm late. I was
It's all
doing
right.
D&Ds.
Uh-huh. So, Colt, what did you think of these episodes of Bleach?
I guess he was caught off guard.
Okay, Paul, it's your turn then.
I mean, I really don't have anything to add, so you can just Cole can go ahead and talk about it.
For some reason, my headphones were set to the wrong thing.
Oh, that happens.
So my thoughts on Bleach, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Two people with a really twisted sense of love fight to the death Highlander style in order to stop the evil Sith Empire while the main character goes through an existential crisis.
That sums it up pretty well.
Actually, yeah, that's not a bad...
There can only be one Kenpachi. Oh,
It's over, Unohana. I have the high ground. I mean, honestly, it's nice to see Kenpachi's growth, even though he was kind of a one-note character. I think it's more Unohana, where it was like, oh yeah, the white mage was actually the psychopath. Okay, didn't see that one coming. But, no. Understandable that, she learned healing in order to keep fighting, which, makes sense.
I feel like her dub actress doesn't quite suit this side of her.
It would have been actually that would have been an interesting take if they had changed the VA for that part, but it is what it is.
Nah, they wouldn't do that. But, I mean, how could they have known at the time? But I'm not saying she's doing a bad job.
Oh,
It's
no,
just
no.
like
I
she's
actually
saying
think
these things, and her timbre is just kind of just as sweet as usual. And I'm
See,
like,
that's what makes it extra creepy, though.
I don't know if it pulled that off so well.
For me, it
But-
did. It was like, oh, she sounds exactly the same. Oh, but she's saying all this other stuff. Oh, jeez.
All right, fair. I have to say, I don't think this fight would have looked anywhere near as awesome in the old style of this show.
No.
The dynamic
no.
lighting, the shadows. Oh, it was so good.
A good chunk of why 1,000-Year Blood War works as well as it does is the fact that they've done a complete change in how they present Bleach, and I'm here for it. It's why this is such a good show. Well, I mean, they're also the story and the characters and everything, which, as a director's cut, basically, of the story, damn! This is just like the way to experience it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of glad I didn't read ahead.
I
of
always
the manga.
thought about reading the manga. I kept going, oh, but they might. Oh, but they might. And then they did.
And they did. Sometimes it works out that way.
Sometimes you get lucky.
It doesn't.
So oftentimes it does not. Yes.
Yeah. So that's episode
Great when
10.
it works.
This core only has 3 episodes left. We don't, in fact, know if Toonami will continue into the second, but I hope so. I hope they at least have.
Would be really,
those 2
really
core.
nice.
I would assume they are.
I would hope that they eventually get Mashal S2, and we all thought that they got S2 on that.
Yeah,
Well-
National Season 2 is very much something I would like to see them run.
Maybe
I can grab Archangel back. He loves that thing.
Well, they do have a blanked out schedule later in August, which would indicate when Blue Exorcist Kyoto Saga is finished. So maybe we switch to Mashal for a bit. Maybe.
As long as they acknowledge that they have season 3 when they make that announcement on Facebook. But I'm not going to hold any candle to that.
They're not going to do that.
Nah.
Even if they do, they're not going to do that.
Nah.
It's like,
if DeMarco,
because you know
if
everyone's
DeMarco
gonna
was
ask
still on social media, that would probably be like, "Hey, is Blue Exorcist coming back?" And he'd probably say, "Yeah, it's coming back.
It's coming back when it's coming back.
We'll find out eventually.
Eventually." Eventually. Like, I have no problem with them taking a break with these shows that have multiple seasons so that we can cycle in other things. Because, there's only so many.
I don't
time
have a
slots for
problem with it.
premiere.
My whole thing is it's just, you know what the obvious questions are going to be. Just answer the obvious questions when you decide to do this.
But more often than not, they haven't secured it yet, so they can't say.
I would be very surprised if they only got S2 for Blue Exorcist.
I
think
mean,
there's
at the
what, like 4
time,
seasons, right?
at the time, like right around the same time, they got that, they got Bleach, they got Daima, and Dawn to Dawn. So
There are 3 additional seasons for Blue Exorcist, although 2 of them were made back to back, and then the other one was made like very shortly thereafter. So it's been one long streak for them, basically.
Yeah.
So calling them 3 additional seasons, while technically true, it kind of, sort of, but not really.
Yeah. I think they would be individual pickups. I mean, they each have individual.
Oh, I'm sure they
subtitles.
are. Absolutely, they would have to be. They have different names and everything.
Well, anyway, you did miss our Daima discussion, but if you had any thoughts on that, Colt, fire away.
Not really. I mean, yeah, it's more Dragon Ball than what Dragon Ball Z was. It's more like you're just having fun with it, and it's kind of just holds up to what it is. I think it's yeah, there's not really much I would say about it. It's just it works, and at the very least, they understand the fact that like, yeah, we should just go do the thing that we need to do, which ultimately results in getting the Dragon Balls faster, which is fighting things. Let's not mess around. Let's just get this over with. We don't have to spend 3 episodes flapping about in Phil. Let's just go fight the guy. That's all I got for Daima.
Well, that does it for our recaps. We will save Dawn to Dawn and Blue Exorcist for the following week. And probably have another topic along with that. So, that brings us to this week's topic, which is something we might have discussed last week, if not for the fact that we had so many other things to discuss at the time. And that is, after some hemming and hawing, we have more details on Warner Brothers and Discovery splitting their assets among companies within the company. Warner Brothers and Discovery meet Warner Brothers and Discovery. And you may be forgiven for thinking it's absolutely ridiculous that Adult Swim and Cartoon Network would end up on the Discovery side. But here we are. All the cable channels except HBO are part of the Discovery side of the company. So the good news is it's not immediately run by David Zaslav, but I don't think we'll take much solace in that. He still runs, Warner Brothers, where he could easily continue to do the most frustrating things. So what does this mean? Well, we don't really know, but we sure can speculate. So I know Paul wants to go off on this, so go ahead, Paul. Start us off.
How long do we got? Yeah. Let's see. So, number one, why the fuck is it Warner Brothers and Discovery? I mean, that's a stupid decision right there. It's just like, okay, so why not at least do like Discover Networks or Warner TV Networks? Something a little bit better than just making it seem like you're splitting the companies. Doesn't make sense.
Gotta make it as confusing as possible.
Oh my god.
Because they don't have, people who can make up good names anymore. They just decided, hey, we don't want to ruin the brand imaging, so we're just going to call them what they were.
Who knows at this point?
It's coming from the company that decided it was HBO Max. No, now it is Max. No, now it's HBO Max again. Identity crisis.
I kind of feel like this is a. Let me put it this way. I don't feel like this really is going to change Adult Swim that much, but I do find it weird because so my understanding is HBO Max goes with Warner, correct? Am I correct in that?
That is correct.
Okay. And even though these networks that have original shows that go on HBO Max, they're with Discovery, correct?
Correct.
This really doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself,
admittedly very similar to the AOL Time Warner days when Turner was kind of off on its own, had its own autonomy, and didn't really mingle with Warner Brothers so much. So it's kind of like that. Only much.
Yeah, but there's
much
going to be more
worse.
mingling. That's what doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're going to
Yeah.
mingle. I
It
mean, you're going to use
kinda
their shows.
and they're all still under the same company, technically. Just,
I mean, I think I was reading about this, and this is they're trying to do this more because of overseas stuff as well. So
hmm.
it's like, okay, but you're still not making any sense here. You know what I mean? Like you're not you're not giving me any like hope that you know what you're doing here. So I don't know. I that part I don't know about. What I can say is I really feel like Adult Swim's not going to be infected by this just because. And again, notice I'm saying Adult Swim. I don't know what's going on with Cartoon Network. I have a feeling that's just going to get killed at some point or something. Um, I mean, Adult Swim is like part of the reason why HBO Max does well. I mean, Rick and Morty basically makes Max relevant, just like South Park, wherever it is, makes that streamer relevant. Well, maybe not Paramount Plus, but that's a whole other conversation for another day.
Oof.
By the way, speaking about that, does anybody find it a little bit weird? Maybe I'm losing it, but do you find it a little weird that they didn't try to throw cash in to keep South Park on HBO Max?
We don't really know what they attempted and didn't.
No, true. But from the stories that are out there, apparently HBO Max didn't want to throw any money in.
Hmm.
So I don't know if maybe they made their own bid and then, you know, Paramount Plus had to make the bigger bid to keep it, which to me makes more sense. Um, based on what was going on, the lawsuit and everything.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring that up is it's like, why are we making these bad decisions?
Well, I'm
You know what I
sure
mean?
that Warner was really hoping that that whole lawsuit situation would have ended with the compromise being, oh, we get to keep it on HBO Max, and that makes up for all the nonsense that we've been dealing with between us.
Right. But
Well,
and here's
that
another
happened for a very brief time, but it did not
yeah,
stick.
no. And I mean, I don't think HBO Max loses really anything without South Park. I don't know if Paramount Plus gains anything with South Park being on there, but based on what they did to Colbert, but we'll see. You know? But
Whoa,
um
boy! If
I
anybody
mean
is
that's
saying cancel us,
yeah.
that
And
episode of South Park, my gosh!
you know what would be really funny? This is what would be really hilarious. If when Colbert is done, a late show version goes on HBO Max and kills it. That would to me would be so fucking hilarious.
I'm sure
And by the way,
Colbert is taking offers.
oh, I'm sure I'm there is no way that there's not going to be a late show on one of these streamers. There's no way. Because they know that there's money there to be made. By the way, you can count Netflix in there too. Don't I'm not saying Netflix wouldn't be in there, but
Yeah,
there's
they have a
probably
late
other
show with.
streamers.
Well, it's actually not a late show. They have a like an evening show with John Mulaney for a couple of months a year. Good show.
So another thing to throw in here, and I know this is probably going to be more, there should be more talk about Toonami more than the conversation, but I think it's relevant. And again, if I'm reading this wrong, I could be wrong. So please take this with a grain of salt. But I guess the creators of SWAT Cats, um, the reason why they haven't been able to do a full-on TV series is Warner Brothers held the rights to it and wasn't allowing them to do anything. I saw
Sounds
something
right.
about this on, I believe it was X, and basically the holdup this whole time has been, no, 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 you can't do anything without our approval. But now the rights have come back to the Tremblay brothers, and now they're able to do things like this comic they announced, um, right before San Diego Comic-Con. So it's interesting. The reason I bring all of that up is because it's really bad to me. It troubles me, I should say, not bad to me. That's bad English. Wow, I'm losing my mind. That they seem to be in general making bad decisions. Not necessarily bad shows, but bad decisions around the edges. And I mean, I understand why you're spinning off the TV networks, and I'm sure that includes the Discover networks too. You want to be able
Everything on
to,
cable except HBO.
yeah. And let's be honest, HBO has never really been. It's been like a cable network per se. It's been more of a premium thing. So I guess it makes sense. But getting back to what I was saying, it makes me think that what they're going to start trying to do is, in a sense, write off some of these networks. And again, you're not going to see the TNTs go. That's where all the sports are. You're not going to see the TBS go. That's where some of the sports are as well. So you're not seeing those two networks go anywhere. So you can already eliminate that. You're not going to see Adult Swim go. Maybe it gets changed into something different with the Adult Swim name and not Cartoon Network, which is what I think is going to happen at some point. But I don't know what that looks like, honestly. As long as they can keep the core of what they have at night, I think they'll be fine. And whatever they put during the day, if that's their choice, it is what it is, you know. But I would say that a lot of us have probably for years now wanted an Adult Swim channel anyways. So I'm open to it as long as you do it the correct way and it's not like something stupid in the morning like, "Oh, you're on Adult Swim, but here's Cartoonito shows." No, I'm good. No. I'm good.
No, they wouldn't do
Um
that.
I know they wouldn't do that, but you get what I'm saying, Sketch. Like you could see something based on some of their decisions. You could see them doing something
I mean, it would make sense to do like
outlandish.
Boomerang and essentially do Me TV Tunes. Because Me TV Tunes is, a cartoon channel not
You know,
explicitly targeting kids.
you know, uh, you bring up a good point, Sketch. I I honestly think it should be a Boomerang Adult Swim channel. I mean,
It's not a
it
terrible
fits
idea.
it fits the aesthetics. You bring in the older cartoons for adults. Adults are still watching these adult cartoons. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
reason why there's a Me Too Tunes.
I always thought that the Flintstones would fit in just fine on Adult Swim.
Perfect.
Yeah, I
And
think so.
I mean, the Jetsons in a way would be able to fit well.
Yeah,
I
Jetsons is
mean,
fine too.
yeah, Jetsons,
And Top
Flintstones.
Cat.
Yeah, bring it. I mean, there's an appetite
Top
for
Cat's
those
just
old
Hogan's
cartoons.
Heroes with cats.
I literally bought Top Cat on DVD last year just because I wanted to watch it. Because it's not anywhere. I would love for that to be on Adult Swim.
I mean, I'm not saying that Adult Swim has been listening to us lately, but if you're listening to us, maybe do a Boomerang Adult Swim channel instead. Just saying, just gonna throw that out there. I mean, you've been listening to us about bringing Bleach and Daima and all this other stuff, so keep listening, keep bringing us some stuff. I will allow you to continue taking our ideas. It's fine. We won't copyright throw you or anything, even though we use the Toonami name, and thank you for letting us do that. So I'm hilarious sometimes. But as for Toonami, I don't see Toonami going anywhere, especially with the fact that it's been so successful to play the show on Toonami and then put it on Max. Because here's the thing, and I think if there's one thing that at least Adult Swim and Toonami have been doing correctly, is getting people to talk on social media. What do I mean by that? A show comes on Adult Swim, whether it be on Adult Swim or on Toonami, and people are tweeting about it. They're talking about it. And it's not necessarily just X. It's also Blue Sky. It's also Facebook. It's also Threads. It's all these social media platforms. So if they're doing something which pulls people to Max and is getting them to watch Max, why would they change a formula? Because it doesn't seem like they're doing that right now. And I think whoever is talking, whether it be the person that's in charge of Adult Swim or, just people in Adult Swim finally ringing Warner Brother Discovery's necks and being like, hey, dum-dums, let's start getting these shows so people are watching Adult Swim. They're doing it finally. They're finally listening. And again, we don't know what happened in that 3 to 4 month span where Toonami really didn't have anything on. But based on what we've seen in this next 4 months so far, or in some retrospects, people would call that quarter, or third, whatever you want to call it, whatever. They're actually listening and they're actually being allowed to play these shows. I mean, they went out at the end of 2024 and got Family Guy back. And I'm trying to think, what else did they get back too? Didn't they get something else back? Futurama was before Family Guy.
They renewed Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers. That's what I thought it was. Yeah. So, and they'll probably have American Dad on there at some point too. Well, that's right. I'm sorry. King of the Hill is there too because they renewed that at some point. So Adult Swim is also listening too. These are the cores of Adult Swim. Now, the one thing that I would love for them to do is put Futurama back out there a little bit more instead of burying it in the morning.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Because it makes more sense to have the first few seasons and just play those. People love that shit. The first, what was it, 2 or 3 seasons of Futurama? Like, people love that shit. That's all you got to play. And people will come and watch your network. So, yeah, I mean, they're listening. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I don't see Adult Swim going anywhere. Some of those Discovery shows, however, not shows, but networks, I think a lot of them are going to be on the chopping block. And a lot of them, while they have good shows, are probably going to all get condensed into something where there's only maybe 2 or 3 networks and all those shows move to those networks.
There's a lot of redundancy.
Yeah. So, and by the way, what's the Discovery streaming service called again? Is it just Discovery Plus? Okay.
Yeah, and Discovery Plus is going to continue to be its own thing.
Why are we going to have Discovery Plus? Why don't we just merge it with HBO Max, put everything on one thing, and just call it a day? Like,
that was the idea, but then they just didn't do it.
Seems
the
like
same thing with
maybe their subscribers didn't like that.
I can tell you because I've had Discovery Plus before and after the merger, it works better than Max.
Interesting. I mean, Max isn't that bad though.
Max isn't that bad, but the shows that I watched on Discovery Plus, the layout was better. You could find what you're looking for easier. It told you, oh, hey, this episode came out this day. So it was a more informative, easy to use format.
Max's interface is a bit lacking.
Yeah.
To say the least.
I mean, I don't hate Max or anything. I use it, but
it can be difficult to go from an episode of a show to another episode of the show. It should not be that difficult.
Well, maybe they're gonna use Discovery Plus's interface at some point and make HBO Plus better. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's something they should have done already, but evidently they didn't.
Sketch, like we said, bad decisions. Anyways,
So many bad decisions.
So I mean, to summarize this up. Oh, you know what? Let me add one more thing that I wanted to bring up, and then yeah, I'll come to the end and let somebody else talk. What is going on with some of these cable networks? Not cable networks, I'm sorry. Cable providers either getting rid of Cartoon Network altogether and
Oh
not having it
yeah.
on its thing,
Oh,
or even
gosh.
worse, charging more money for it. Like,
Yeah.
what in the blue hell are you fucking doing? Like,
Pushing
you're
it to
almost
one of the
forcing.
higher tiers, or even like the sports package. What on
Yeah,
earth, Comcast?
yeah. I've even heard, and I don't know if this is true. It's probably something that happened on X. Somebody probably just was making this up on X, but I thought I saw something about there's one cable provider that it has Adult Swim, but only Adult Swim, and it only plays when Adult Swim's on. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, that is fucking crazy.
I'd have to find the
And
tweet that you responded to.
I've
I think
heard
it was.
something about that. Yeah,
I think it was like
yeah.
Comcast or something like that. They're changing
So
it.
you saw that? You saw that too, then?
It has to
Okay.
go onto an add-on platform rather than be part of any level of
Oh my
subscription.
god, it's just
Yeah.
that needs to stop. Like Warner Brothers Discovery needs to go. Listen, you need to put Adult Swim and Cartoon Network back on a regular package, or we're gonna pull everything from your thing, including
Well,
TNT.
obviously
and
they don't
PBS.
have that kind of pull, or they would, I'm sure.
Well, they do have
The
pull
leverage for
I
because
found it. I found it.
what does it
If
say?
I'm reading this correctly, starting August 12th, 2025, Cartoon Network will be moved to Comcast from Comcast core TV packages to the more sports and entertainment add-on tier, which costs an extra $10 a month.
So
Yeah.
stupid.
But does that mean Adult Swim also?
Cartoon Brew 8 days ago.
Because that's what he was asking about.
Yeah.
I know I saw it before. I
Yeah,
don't remember
Yeah,
who
I,
it was
I remember
from.
seeing that, but I thought that it was immediately debunked, and they're like, "Oh no, you just have to blah 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 blah," blah," and then it's there. Okay.
Hmm.
I'll have to go searching.
But anyways, like it's
Yeah, but that's crazy. If
that
if
is crazy.
only more or less half of the network is available.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That's-
doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make
And by the
any
way, they
sense.
do. Warner Brothers Discovery does have some pull because here's the thing: they have TNT and TBS. Remember, I was talking about that before, where I said they're not going to get rid of those. The reason they're not going to get rid of those is because it has a lot of sports on it, and what I'm talking about is the college
Not
sports.
the NBA anymore.
Oh, okay.
Well, not the NBA.
I found the I found the line from it. It was coming from Cord Cutter News, which is DirecTV recently also did not add a Cartoon Network to a cheaper entertainment only package. They instead only offer Adult Swim when the channel is blank when Cartoon Network is on.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go.
Wow.
Wait,
So-
DirecTV aren't they owned by Discovery?
They're owned by AT&T.
Okay. So they're no longer okay.
Yeah, so
no,
they-
they're
so
owned
they are-
by Dish actually now.
Yeah, they merged.
AT&T spun them off and did some stuff, and now they're
Wait.
on their own. Yeah,
No, I thought that they were going to buy Dish, and then that deal fell through.
it was something weird that happened, and then the deal did fall through, but then they decided to do some other thing. So I don't know who owns them. I think they own themselves still. AT&T does not own them anymore. But I think Dish is still trying to acquire them somehow.
That's
Okay.
weird. But see, that's the thing. Like, I walked into an AT&T store the other day, and Dish is being, or not Dish, DirecTV is being sold there. So, are you sure that AT&T doesn't own it still? Because I'm a little confused if that's the case.
I'm checking now.
Yeah, because that's a little weird. Because I was under the impression that AT&T owned them, because they honestly wouldn't be offering it in store if they didn't. And if they are, that's a little that is really weird. See, look at this. We're talking about things as we're trying to figure out things as we go. Look at this. It's a discussion. Yay.
Yay.
Indeed, a discussion.
But-
I'm sure that Colt will champion Adult Swim and Cartoon Network just becoming Cartoon Network again.
I will die on that hill.
I would love that, actually.
Because at this point, your audience is so blended together, there's no reason to have the Adult Swim split. Not saying remove it as a, like, get rid of William Street per se. It's just go back to having it all be Cartoon Network. And if you just want to use the cheap bums later in the night, go ahead. It should just be all Cartoon Network again.
I agree. I don't think there's any reason why you can't play King of the Hill and even Family Guy on the Cartoon Network.
Can I
just leave the Adult Swim stuff for Rick and Morty, Smiling Friends, Originals,
so
Toonami.
If we're gonna have that discussion, I'm gonna have to disagree. And here's why. Just Warner Brothers. Well, you know what? I'm not even gonna blame Warner Brothers Discovery for this, because this is actually started probably around the time AT&T acquired all the networks and everything. They've damaged Cartoon Network so bad that unless you were to do like, and here's the only reason I would agree with making it all Cartoon Network, is if you were still to have the Adult Swim block the way it is and don't change it.
Yeah.
But you were to do some kind of boomerang kind of thing like we were talking about earlier. I would be 100% in with that. But I am more
That's what we're saying.
I am more for an idea of doing a boomerang / Adult Swim than I am Cartoon Network, because of how badly they've damaged that brand.
Yes, they have severely damaged the brand, but I don't think it's unsalvageable. There's obviously still nostalgia for it, and Adult Swim runs on nostalgia.
Correct.
So
that's why.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say an update on the AT&T chat is saying that DirecTV is no longer owned by AT&T. AT&T sold its remaining 70% stake in DirecTV to TPG Capital. That's Texas Pacific Capital or something like that, making DirecTV a wholly owned subsidiary of them. So they do not own it. They used to own it. They sold. I want to say, let's see here, they sold 30% off because they were said in 2021 that they were going to spin it off, DirecTV, Uverse, and DirecTV Stream into a separate entity. In 2024, AT&T announced that they would sell the remaining 70% stake to TPC for $7.6 billion, but will keep all of its Uverse TV at AT&T. The sale was complete in 2025, July 2nd, making DirecTV a wholly owned subsidiary.
That makes my head hurt.
Thank you, Jeff Herrera, for the clarification that in the chat.
But then I guess the question is why is AT&T still selling DirecTV?
I mean, why not?
They can still hold the license to it. They can do what they want with that, probably.
Probably.
Running it day to day, they're not going to be running that thing day to day because AT&T. So if you look at everything else,
you can still sell a bundle.
Yeah, you can still sell a bundle and make money off of that, which they're going to do. But AT&T is a telecommunication company. They figured that landlines are going out. They're not going to renew them anymore. We need to, subsidize all of that stuff and get rid of that stuff and jump on the next thing, cell phones. Oh, hey, cell phones are still going to be around, but they're not making much money. Let's make it off of, TV and everything and entertainment, just like Comcast is doing. They're kind of late in jumping into the market. They have a lot of debt. Let's sell the thing that, is creating most of that debt that we bought, DirecTV. And so they're going to sell that off and and just keep going from there because AT&T doesn't know what to do. They relied off landline phones for the longest time. every company is just going to go on. Same with WBD and all that other stuff. And personally, I don't think when they split off into WBD split off into these two networks because TCM is the only network going with the streaming and special services on that side with David Zazoff. That's the only channel that's going to it.
Is?
Yes, it is. That one's been
Yeah,
confirmed.
it is. Yep.
Yeah,
Huh.
that one's
Okay, so that and HBO.
Yeah.
So the movie channels.
Yeah, mostly all the streaming stuff and everything else is going that way. Everything else is going to the quote unquote global networks side of it, which is all the channels and everything else. The thing is with that is it's going to be a case by case basis because if you look at the live sports TNT, I have a quote from them on that. They said, quote, since they're splitting the structure, they said the decision to their belief is each company can go further and faster apart than they can go together. The sports entity, they said the U.S. sports rights will reside at global networks. So these global networks of all of them combined, not the streaming, but the management team will determine each and case by case determine the streaming and digital rights over time. So I would assume that would be with any type of TV show, anything else that they're making for Adult Swim or Cartoon Network or anything like that. So that will be determined if that stuff will land on HBO Max or any of that stuff. You see that cleaning house of all the shows that were on the classic cartoon shows from Cartoon Network that were on there just suddenly leaving and going away. It's like they don't care. It's because it's not that they don't care. It's money. They don't see anything coming from that. They see most of that stuff. They wanted to clear the debt away, that $7 billion debt, and Global Networks is going to do that. Global Networks is going to clear the debt away so much that it's going to cut networks away, cut staffing, cut a lot of stuff. And so I know it's me rambling going on. I don't like the stuff that's going to happen, but I would say probably if things are going to go that way, they're going to try to make a MeTV like lookalike, some clone. They can maybe deform that Boomerang into that, but they're not going to succeed that much. And then Boomerang probably will be the first to go. Then Cartoon Network, Adult Swim will be there still, but maybe a shell of themselves with Toonami. But global networks, that side of it, they need to get rid of that debt fast. And the only way they're going to get rid of that debt fast is what they're doing by clearing the house and selling off channels and selling off tons of property to do that, to clear everything out.
You know, they don't necessarily have to split their assets to do that.
Yeah.
However, Carl Olson put it on Blue Sky that he sees this as Warner Brothers Discovery trying to charge maximum rent out of their cable networks.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way of putting it.
I mean, it kills me because it's like there is a solution. You were going to do this solution and you never did, and it would probably actually make you more money. And that's putting the stupid networks on HBO Max in the first place, like you were going to. It still like blows my mind that you wouldn't at least. And I know that, don't get me wrong, I see what these other streamers are starting to do with these marathon streams as well, and starting to creep into trying to put their networks on the streams, because they see that there's a appetite for it. These marathon streams, again, I reference this every time we talk about this. You go on to Pluto, and this is why Pluto's become so popular. You go on to Pluto and you got One, two, three. Well, now you got four. Actually, you got four channels of Star Trek. You have Deep Space Nine, you have Voyager, you have a split of Star Trek The Next Generation and the original series. And then now the fourth one is every single Star Trek movie, which I've been enjoying, mind you, this whole summer. I think it's just supposed to be a summer thing, but dude, I'm like, I won't say no if you keep it. But they're seeing that those are making money. It's free, but you're making a shit ton of money off of all these advertisements you put on there. And by the way, just like how Hulu is, they're not inundating you with commercials. And people like that. Like, you can have your commercials. Go ahead, give me your commercials. As long as you're not playing them 50 times over one show, like what Crackle used to do when it was alive. So
I find watching movies on Hulu to be fairly tolerable. Watching shows on Hulu is just awful.
and let's face facts. That's the whole reason why the Adult Swim app is still around, probably, because people are watching those marathon streams. They're watching it free on the Adult Swim app without a login, without having cable, and being able to watch Rick and Morty. I don't know what season they're up to that they have on there, but they're marathoning it. Like, it's just something that right now, to me, makes more sense. That, okay, fine, you charge $10 more for the networks to be on HBO Max. By the way, I know there's been this thing, the counter thing to this as well. The cable providers are making deals so they can have the streams on there because that's what these cable networks want. But here's the problem: we just talked about it. They're locking some of your networks that are actually important up in other premium things, or not having them at all. So what's the point if you can't watch Adult Swim? You either have the Adult Swim app, charge a fee for people that just want to watch Adult Swim when it's on, or you put it on HBO Max like you're supposed to. I mean, and by the way, I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm not saying exclusively Adult Swim. I think they should do it with all the networks they have. I think Disney should do it with their networks. I think who else am I thinking here? NBC Universal. They should be doing the same thing.
Who's gonna
You know what I
pay for
mean?
cable?
Exactly. But here's the thing: you're already doing cable again. You're just doing it in streaming services. So
Yeah, but it's a separate business, and they're trying to get money from both.
they are trying to get money from both. But guess what? You would get money from both if you put them on the same thing.
No, you just get money once for both. That's why they're not doing that.
Well, but here's the thing: you're losing more and more viewers on cable, right? You're trying to cut what channels out that don't work, right? Okay, but what about the channels that are working? What about your TNT and TBS that, by the way, you're already creeping into HBO Max streaming on there because guess what? It streams live on there for your sports. Like, you're already putting your hands in that. If that's what you're trying to do, and basically you're going to continue to do, because I know you're not stupid, why not just go full force and do it with the networks that work? You know what I mean? Like, it just
They
makes
continue
sense.
to do it. Maybe this whole deal will put an end to that because they're separate sides of the company.
Putting an end to
Streaming the live sports.
I
On
don't
Max.
think so. I don't think so, because here's the thing about that sketch. You got Netflix doing it. And if but based on what we've seen just with wrestling being live on there, people are getting used to that now. So if you take that away when people can do it, that might piss some people off. So, and I understand what the idea of that is, Sketch. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do that. I get it. Keep TV literally separate from the streaming and make people go and buy cable in order to watch this stuff. Dude, I completely get that. I understand that completely. But here's the thing. We're in a streaming age. People are buying 50 different streams at this point. I mean, shit, Roku just came out with their own streaming service for $2.99.
They've had a free streaming service for quite a while.
They have, and now they have one for $2.99, which, by the way, includes Warner Brother properties. I mean, you get the point where I'm going with this. Like, figure out what you want to do here. I get you split off. Great. I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to save yourself money because of, well, I blame it mostly on AT&T, but that's a whole nother conversation we can have for another day. But you got to save the things that are doing well. Cutting out an Adult Swim altogether would kill your business, because nobody's going to watch anything except for your TNT and TBS at that point, and some of your Discovery channels. That's it. And at that point, there is no point. You know, I mean, that definitely would kill off Cartoon Network right there if you killed Adult Swim.
Well,
and they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because, by the way, TBS is in the same building as Adult Swim. So it's like, unless you're going to move TBS into Techwood, which I don't see them doing, to be honest with you, there's no point. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen, but I don't see Adult Swim going anywhere. And I definitely don't see Toonami going anywhere when Toonami # makes money. So,
one big change I could see happening with Toonami is I could see potentially they're gonna dial back on making original anime. I mean, as it stands, we know about Rooster Fighter coming next year. We know they're gonna do more Ninja Kamui. Maybe they'll do more Lazarus, but I mean, it seems like Watanabe's already moved on, so are they gonna do it without him? I don't know. There's been nothing else announced that we don't already know about. So maybe they're taking a break from that a bit. And perhaps more evidence towards that is an aggressive slate of third-party acquisitions like they did this year all at once in the summer months. To say, hey, we got stuff.
well, what I would say to that, Sketch, is I actually like them concentrating more on shows like a Ninja Kamui that was successful for them and doing more. So if they're going to take, that's fine. If they want to do that, I would say
you don't have to keep throwing darts if you hit a bullseye.
Exactly my point. So if Ninja Kamui did well for you, do what you just did and do 2 more seasons of it, like you are doing. So Lazarus did well for you. If that's the case, you hit a bullseye, you hit a series that actually did what it was supposed to do, make more seasons of it. And, maybe that's the plan. Maybe, they're going to concentrate on Ninja Kamui first, and then they're going to come back to that show and continue with that. And the same thing may happen with Rooster Fighter. If it's so successful, I mean, Viz is helping them with this, right? So it's not as much money anyways. At least that would be what I think.
Probably.
Why not? Go ahead.
So as for Adult Swim as a whole, I mean, we all know Adult Swim basically runs on third-party shows that are owned by Disney.
Yeah.
With the exception of Rick and Morty, Smiling Friends, and, maybe something else every now and then. They're just going to keep on trucking as long as they can keep those things on the network. I don't think there'll be a point when HBO Max will get Rick and Morty and Smiling Friends and like that new spin-off about the president in Rick and Morty, which by the way excites me way more than anything Rick and Morty has in a while. Because I mean, Keith David starring in a show, come on. I hope it's good.
Let's not have a conversation about Keith David.
I mean, why not?
Something didn't do an interview, something.
Okay.
Interesting.
I've gone into length about that, and I don't really want to talk about that.
Well, I still like him.
He let me down when he did what he did, and then he tried to cover it up on X, which made me even more pissed off at him. So, but anyways, we're not here talking about that.
This is on news to me, but okay, moving on.
Yeah.
So I don't think there will ever be a point where HBO Max is be like, no, these are our shows now, because it doesn't make business sense really. But as far as producing new shows go, HBO Max is going to get the priority more than ever, and that could be a detriment to Adult Swim in the long run. I mean, we still don't have Scavengers. We still don't have Suicide Squad Isekai.
Well,
I think that one surprised me more than anything. We haven't gotten Suicide Squad Isekai.
Yeah.
We don't have...
Well, what's his name will be on
any
the
of those
streaming
DC
side, so we don't
shows.
have to deal with him anymore.
So, I don't know. I think Adult Swim will generally keep trucking as they have been for a good long while, regardless of anything. Because they're successful, and there's no way that they're shutting down a successful cable network when they only have so many successful cable networks. It's gonna keep going. The Cartoon Network side, that's way more worrisome. I mean, basically, except for Ianu, they're not really making shows for Cartoon Network. Ironically enough, I'm pretty sure Teen Titans Go will continue to premiere episodes on Cartoon Network, but all these Cartoon Network originals are going to end up on Hulu or Netflix or Amazon, and that's just the way it goes. They see the kids and the teenagers, I guess, would be the audience for some of these. They're all on the streaming platforms and not on Max. The kids are not on Max, so they're gutting their kids' library and really doing nothing with that. So where does that leave Cartoon Network with the channel? Well, Discovery will have more or less 3 kids and family networks. You really don't need 3. So I could definitely see Boomerang getting finally removed from the equation. They might prioritize Discovery Kids at least a little bit, or Discovery Family just a little bit longer. I don't know. They've been doing some kind of peculiar things with that, actually playing Cartoon Network reruns on there, like Steven Universe. So I guess we'll see, but every day it seems closer and closer to the erasure of Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
It makes me sad, because the IPs will continue to exist, but Cartoon Network was a house of ideas, and unless they, and I really hope they do something with those cartoon shorts, some of which they showed at San Diego Comic-Con, what is their future as a studio other than being mined for IP by Warner Brothers Animation every now and then? Hopefully it's not that bleak, but this is kind of the way I see things going. And now they won't even technically own any of their old shows. That's a problem, I think. Because, Cartoon Network's never really been known to have all that much money in recent years. So that's a bit worrisome. And I think that's also a little bit worrisome on the Adult Swim side, but they should be able to afford to keep their library intact, I think. We'll
Probably.
definitely see less of the more obscure shows just because they don't want to pay to play them if they have to. And maybe they don't have to pay to play them. I don't really know how that works, but it sounds like on paper the network will not own the shows. And that makes everything a third party acquisition in a way. So that's not ideal. Any additional thoughts, Colt?
I mean, not really. I think it's more just gonna be seeing where all this ends up. Like, it's just gonna be a case of, well, here's hoping.
Here's hoping.
I guess that's all we can really do, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah. We can we can hope this all shakes out in a way that doesn't that
Fuck
it's not
everything up.
much worse than it already is.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what acquisitions Adult Swim does get for Toonami coming up here in the near future and into next year. I mean, I would assume Bleach is going to continue. Hopefully, we'll get Mashal season 2. Somehow, if they can pry it away from Crunchyroll, maybe have Fire Force season 3. The new season of Dr. Stone as well. I would love to see all of that show up on Toonami in the next few
Wouldn't we all?
months and into next year.
Wouldn't we
So-
all?
Indeed.
And I'm trying to think if there's anything else like I mean, let's not talk about My Hero Academia. We'll be here forever.
And My Hero
that-
Academia Vigilantes.
Heck
is a great
yeah.
show.
It's all right.
I
see
would
what you
love
did
for
there.
Adult Swim.
Hmm.
I would love for Adult Swim to well actually I'm sorry. Jason and Marco to kind of slither in the background and steal shows from Crunchyroll and others, or at least have them so that we get them first. But see that that's a bigger question that we won't go into tonight. I think it would be a great discussion for another day. But what does Jason's position morph into now? Because his position was getting content for the networks and for HBO Max, but probably maybe more for HBO Max. But does his position go to more of an HBO Max centered thing, or is it still both? I think that would be an interesting question to ask him at some point.
Yeah, if only we'd been able to talk to him slightly after this all happened. But
Yeah.
well,
Opportunities arise.
he's on the Warner Brothers side of things in development in his department. So I think he's still gonna continue to well actually he more or less explained he's gonna make shows at Warner Brothers and those shows will be shopped around and they'll end up on a streamer or they'll end up on the network. You know, it all just kind of depends.
And by the way, I don't think he's done making original series. I think there'll be some more coming. I really wish that I mean, SWAT Cats is one of those things that kind of let me down that Warner Brothers just screwed with them about, but like depending on where Thundercats is involved, like I'd love to see them try to do something with that and do a proper reboot of it. Even though the 2011 series was great, it just got cut short. Like taking some properties that you own and trying to do more with them. I mean, you had the He-Man. You did have He-Man at one point, you know. You lost that to Netflix. So, you know, got to try to find something cuz there's some things in there that you probably could do well with.
Yes, there's a whole sizable catalog of IPs, all under Warner Brothers now, most of which will not get utilized.
Probably not. Oh, by the way, the one thing I did want to say too, when I think Laser was the one that said that they took off all those old shows from HBO Max. I got a place for those for you. It's called Cartoon Network.
Yes. Well, I believe some of them are currently airing on Cartoon Network. And I try to explain that to people who are like, oh, they're off Max. Where should I watch them? I was like, on Cartoon Network. The channel, it still airs.
let me kind of put a cherry on top of this, because one thing I've been noticing, I've been kind of fine-tuning our social media presence off of X, because I've been trying to see where things, pop, so to speak. And obviously, okay, fine, it's all Toonami stuff, so it's not our stuff, but it's more or less I want to see where people are flocking and pulling Toonami stuff from. I mean, I'll be honest, like there's some social media networks that are doing very well when we post something on there. I won't mention them for reasons, but the one thing that I see in the comments, number one, Toonami's still around. Wait, Toonami's on TV?
Toonami's back?
Toonami's back? Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of that still, which is weird. But the other thing I'm seeing is, oh man, I wish I could watch. And it's in some form of this, by the way. Oh man, I wish I could watch Toonami. I dropped cable so long ago. Like, there are people out there, and we've said this so many times on this podcast. I think I feel like I'm blue in the face. Like, you could capture just by doing something with the Adult Swim app, other than putting marathon streams and allowing, which by the way, when I watch Dragon Ball Daima, for example, I just watch it on there to give them views. Because yeah, I could go to Hulu right now and watch the English dub of it. I could go to Crunchyroll and watch it. But I don't. I go to the Adult Swim app to watch it because I have a cable login. So they, there is an opportunity there for some of these things. So maybe they need to start thinking out of the box and trying some of that stuff, because guess what? You tried an older version of Toonami, which in my view you probably would have kept had you not gotten the Family Guy deal that you did. You tried some other things which in retrospect were probably successful for you. So why not try some other stuff? I think this is the time, this is the perfect time to try new things, think outside the box, and see where you can get people. Because by the way, if you get a lot of viewers onto, say, the Adult Swim app, and they are purchasing a subscription to that because they want to watch Toonami, they want to watch just Adult Swim, you're going to make money off of it, not just by that membership, but by the commercials. And that would be great for the networks, for the network side, because that would be a network side thing. So think outside of the box here, guys. Start doing things that make sense in this world of phones, computers, tablets, because you can capitalize on so much more if you do something as simple as that. And I think that's kind of the point of what we just talked about tonight, is it's time to start doing things that make sense, not just for Toonami, not just for Adult Swim, but Warner Brothers Discovery as a whole. Because when you make the bad decisions, you drive people away, aka Paramount Plus. But do things that make sense. Think outside of the box. Let more people like a Jason DeMarco be creative and bring stuff in. Because people will notice that and they will watch your network. And that's it.
It's time to bring back Tsunami Jetstream. Let's go!
Yeah, Tsunami Just Stream.
I mean, they are working with Viz a little bit, so
Exactly. Make it
Tsunami
happen,
Just Stream
Tsunami
/
and
Neon
Viz.
Alley.
by the way,
Yeah.
you're welcome, Netflix.
Right. Well, we have definitely talked enough. So
Mhm.
let's get on out of here.
Let's wrap it up. That's what she
Mm.
said.
You can email us at podcast@tsunamifaithful.com. You can follow us on facebook.com/tsunamifaithfulpodcast and on Twitter @tsunamipodcast. You can listen to the podcast on just about everything, including Apple Podcasts, CastBox, Deezer, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Overcast, Podbay, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Radio.com, Spotify, and the TuneIn app. You can find every episode of the podcast to stream online at the same place they found the encrypted clinical trials on Lazarus, soundcloud.com/TsunamiFaithfulPodcast. And get the latest news by following @TsunamiFaithful.com on Blue Sky and @TsunamiNews on Twitter. And read the news, views, and reviews on TsunamiFaithful.com. Colt is the last man into the podcast. You go first.
You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Ambient Virus, same name both ways. And on Twitch at twitch.tv/LifeVirus. Starting up Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, doing those two games. I want to get a Switch too, but Amazon won't give me a damn invite, so nothing from the newer setups. And yeah, that's about it.
Stop trying to buy with Amazon. It's much easier to get it from like
I have
Best Buy.
$500 on my credit card. I'm gonna get one for free.
Ah, good plan. Good plan. See, I didn't know that. It's a good plan. Look for every opportunity to save money on these overpriced video games.
Excellent choice.
Just like I look for like all of my GameStop coupons so I don't have to pay $70 or $80 for a game.
Oof.
Understandable. But yeah, like
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah,
an
I
Amazon
use-
Prime card for a while, and it's like, I have all this money. Give me the damn invite. I want a free thing. I was gonna use it on Xbox, but then I realized, no, I get Game Pass for free, so not like I need it.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you do, I hope you pick up Donkey Kong Bonanza. It is very, very good.
I've seen the gameplay, so yeah, it's definitely a variant of the Odyssey formula, but I probably will get it at some point, hopefully. Anyways,
It's
on to
like-
the next
it's-
person.
It's like Odyssey with a heaping helping of Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
Hmm.
It's a lovely combination. Revolutionizing platformers. Probably. I don't know. Game of the year. I don't know. I enjoy it. Okay, Steven, tell the folks where they can find you.
Hi. You can find me on X at MXAGOS, Blue Sky, same name, MXAGOS. Doing some streaming this weekend. I don't know when, what time. Who knows? Probably in the morning, but who knows? Doing some Metrovania stuff, and it's probably going to be Hollow Knight because I never played the
Ooh.
game and it looks cool.
Ah.
and
I actually
don't
just
like
recently
bugs, but-
completed a really good Metroidvania.
Which one?
Astalon, Tears of the Earth.
Okay, then I'll have to add that to my list.
Highly
Um,
recommend it.
I'll
Okay.
Put it on the list.
It's from
You
the
heard
same guys
that?
that made
Hey,
Castle in the
streaming
Darkness.
Steven be streaming.
I will. Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Laser, tell the folks where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at LaserKidPrime. You can find me on Blue Sky at LaserKid, assuming I post over there, which is not all the time. And you can find me on my podcast, The Simul Up Saints, which is on YouTube, Spotify Podcasts, and we have social media on Twitter and Blue Sky at Simul Up Saints.
Paul, tell the folks where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on X. You can find me on Sky Blue. Wow. Blue Sky. Just search for Paul Pascrillo. I am there. Though I will say I should use Blue Sky more, but I'm not. And as always, you can email me, paulpascrillo at toonamifaithful.com, or you can email me podcast at toonamifaithful.com. And if you do email, I will respond. Sometimes some of that stuff gets buried, unfortunately, but yeah, please do email me. And Sketch, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Sketch1984 and on Blue Sky Sketch1984. And we always appreciate your listenership, whether you're tuning in live to the live stream that we almost never announce prehand, and that's entirely my bad, but maybe I'll get better at it. But you like the spontaneity, don't you? Of course you do. Of course you do.
Keeping the viewers on their toes.
Yeah.
Wait.
Absolutely.
We're ending this before 11 p.m.
I know, it's a miracle.
I know. I know, it's crazy. Frankly, we should have been done sooner, but somebody had to keep on talking. But it was okay as long as he was talking and I wasn't.
Who was that?
Some guy.
Indeed. Some
okay.
guy. Anyway, yes, thank you for listening, whether it was live or in the podcast form eventually. We hope you've been enjoying the conversations lately, the recaps, the topics. We hope to do more topics now that we're not quite as overloaded with things to recap as we were when Lazarus was still going. But, I mean, we still do like 4 episode recaps per week regardless. But yeah. Hope to have another riveting topic for you next week, along with talking about Dawn to Dawn, which will continue to get absolutely insane, and Blue Exorcist, which I imagine is going to get pretty intense as that arc comes to a close in the coming weeks. So yeah, good stuff ahead. So thanks again for listening. We always appreciate your listenership. Share the podcast with your friends if you think they'd be interested. And until next time, I gotta make like Goku and take a wicked dump.
Toonami Faithful Podcast, Toonami Faithful Podcast, Toonami Faithful Podcast. Podcasters in a SoundCloud, Podcast Power. They're the world's most terrific Toonami podcast. We're really hip. They're nerds with a microphone and they're live. Hey, get a grip when the evil Zaslav attacks. These podcasting boys don't cut a no slack. Toonami Faithful Podcast, Toonami Faithful Podcast. Paul taught them to be a podcasting gurus. He's a radical ranter. Sketch leads Steven does the streams. That's a Twitter feed. Colt is cool but cranky. Give me those ratings. Laser Kid is a really old dude. I have working NES.
Steven, can you cut his mic, please? Laser, we really need to take your sugar intake down.
I drove for 8.5 hours today. I'm bouncing off walls.
You're probably going to hit your pillow and go,
oh, God, you have no idea.
And we're off.